We human beings aren't as smart as we think because so often we still do things when we know they're harmful to us. This is an art shame story about one of my closest friends, Jenny. For the sake of privacy, I'll call her Jenny. When she was young, she loved to draw and dreamed of becoming an artist. But one day, her mom casually glanced as she was drawing a landscape and said something that would change the course of her life. Jenny, I don't think you have a gift for that, but you're good at many other things. It may have been intended as practical advice, coming from a place of care about her future. Or maybe it was just an offhand comment about that one particular drawing. But that small remark was enough to make her give up on her dream of becoming an artist and shift her focus entirely to schoolwork instead. My point here isn't whether her life would have turned out better or not because of that moment. That's a mystery we'll never truly know. Although I still see how talented she is and how that talent could have been nurtured from a young age. The point is this: sometimes a single moment can trigger a mindset shift from daring to try to hiding away. And over time, that mindset becomes our default, comparing instead of creating and holding back instead of growing. Today, I want to share a mindset that's slowly destroying our lives. A mindset that keeps us trapped inside of a shell, our own prison shell, unable to break free, even though the way out is right in front of us, and how you can better navigate your way out of it. Like young Jenny, we all carry our own version of art shame experience, don't we? For me, ever since I first came across calligraphy, I thought, oh man, I would love to learn that. But then a year went by, and another. You wouldn't believe how many years I spent just thinking about starting, admiring other people's work and progress on Instagram feed, and telling myself, if only I had started a year ago. And before I knew it, 7 years had passed like that. Until I finally began my own calligraphy journey. Sometimes we become guarded and insecure because of unkind words we've heard, moments that stick with us. And in my case, maybe it wasn't even others, but my own voice telling me, you're not talented enough. It's too late. We hold back from starting a YouTube channel because we're afraid of what others might say or the negative comments we might receive. We stop ourselves from trying new things because we're scared people will think we're bad at it or that we'll look like a failure. Experts like Dr. Susan David, a Harvard psychologist, say that the first step to breaking out of this shell of fear is to face it. She explains that avoiding our emotions can cost us our mental health. Learning to face and label them, even when painful, allows us to gain power over them. In other words, when emotions are denied or ignored, they get stronger. So take a moment, pause the video if you need to, and think about your own art shame story and write it down. Of course, it's not just about art. It could be anything in life that you decided not to try anymore. Like Jenny, who doesn't draw much these days, or Tom, who stopped playing soccer, or Monica, who gave up journaling because she felt her handwriting wasn't good enough. What did someone say to you, or what experience did you have that made you decide to stay stuck in the past? How did it really make you feel? Those things can be something you usually don't tell people. Express it truthfully in your writing, not dramatically, but simply as it felt to you. One thing I realized during my YouTube journey is that although I receive so many encouraging and kind comments, strangely, it's often the few negative ones that affect how I feel for the rest of the day. We humans are more easily swayed by negative experiences than positive ones. In other words, we're naturally prone to getting stuck in unpleasant memories. Now, I'm pretty good at brushing those off. What I do is, whenever I notice something affecting me, I intentionally acknowledge the feeling, reflect on why I feel that way, and then go through a move on process. Facing your art shame story is important, but here's the critical part that must follow, which is making an intentional choice to move on. You can even try this exercise if you would like. Some of you might be thinking, isn't this whole idea of moving on a bit vague and abstract? That's a fair point. But let me share something my husband once told me. At a time when he was struggling with regret, confusion, and an overwhelming desire to move forward, he actually drew a line on the floor and physically stepped over it. That action marked a moment of decision to leave the past behind and move forward with intention. You see, the human mind isn't always easy to control. even when it's your own. No matter how much we want to move on, we often find ourselves stay stuck in the same place. But when you create a physical representation of that decision, whether it's a drawing a line or writing something down, it can help you shift your mind and body into alignment and truly help you let go of what's been holding you back. Just acknowledge the fact that there is a bigger world beyond the shell that feels like your entire reality, because whatever you've heard or whatever you fear does not define who you are. And more importantly, it does not define who you're going to become. I believe happiness comes from growth. When we feel that today is better than yesterday and we have hope that tomorrow will be better than today, that's when we truly begin to experience joy in life. That can apply to any area, your finances, relationships, career, business, or personal development. With that said, the third step in shifting your mindset is to start something you want to see grow. Start learning something new or improving something meaningful. Your life is probably already full of responsibilities and efforts to grow in many areas. But what I suggest here is start something you genuinely enjoy. Something you've always wanted to try to pursue, but never quite found the right moment for. Some comments I've received, especially on my How to Improve Your Handwriting video, have brought me so much joy. The wording varies, but the message is something like this. I've been putting off journaling for years because my handwriting isn't very good. But after watching your video, I decided to try journaling again. Messages like that mean the world to me. Not just because they enjoyed the video I put effort into making, but because I feel like I was able to contribute, even just a little, to a healthier, more fulfilling future for them, which is the main reason I started this channel. For me, starting my calligraphy journey and sharing it eventually turned into a business. But it didn't begin that way. In fact, the opposite is true. I started calligraphy because I wanted to focus on something that nurtured my inner self, to tune out from all the grown-up responsibilities, even if just for a small part of the day. I wanted to do something purely for the joy of it. Not for the money, but to feel like a child again. So, what is it that you want to start? Something that will allow you to feel the joy of growth. Write down everything you want to learn or build, up to 10 items. Then choose just one to start with. Here's the catch. Whether you grow beyond your art shame story from the past and begin to experience daily joy through growth depends on your ability to stay focused on your progress, not anyone else's. I found out the greatest enemy in this phase is comparison. As long as you stay focused on your own journey, you can hold on to that joy. But the moment distractions creep in, especially when you start comparing yourself to people who are already at the finish line, or begin feeling small, that joy begins to fade. And then those inner voices start to whisper, "Let's do it later. Why bother? It's too late. Who am I to think I can do this? Why care so much if someone thinks your handwriting is bad?" Focus on your progress as you write and enjoy the precious moments you spend journaling each day. Why worry so much about someone commenting on your drawing? Focus on the present moment and letting your creativity shine day by day. Why care so much about what others say about you? Focus instead on what you can do each day to grow into the person you aspire to be. If you follow these steps, you'll notice not only how your mind becomes more peaceful and joyful, but also how much progress you made when you look back years later. I hope this video inspires you and helps you face it, move on, start, and stay focused on your daily progress. Feel free to leave a comment below. Let me know which of the 4 steps you struggle with the most. Or share your art shame story if you feel comfortable sharing. That's it for today. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!